It's like, too bad you guys weren't around back then. I would have been twice as successful. Not that I wanted to be, but nowadays it's you guys are generating leads at $150 accredited investor, maybe another $100 to develop a relationship, 150, $200, $300 to get to one of these guys. You got to keep in mind that RealSource was pretty consistently $1 billion of assets under management almost within a few years, a couple, 3 years. We could have grown up much faster, especially today because you can scale so much easier. Back then, it was really hard to scale. Well, it started in the late 80s and continued.
Yes. My every kid around the conference table putting stamps on them.
And then when somebody got the great idea, so when we get a better open rate if we hand address the envelopes. It was like, so we hired everybody in the neighborhood, all their kids.
My kids were the first one.
Yeah. So I mean, you started all of this, but I had no idea. But so I mean, it was laborious, labor intensive, and very expensive. By the time we got through just getting a client lined up, we'd spent probably $2,000, maybe $2,500, depending on where we were marketing and how we were marketing.
Just to get a client identified.
Just to get them, yeah. Just to have them say, yeah, I'm accredited and I'm interested. That's not to get them onto the tour, you know. So we, no, it cost us marketing fees, you know, whatever that was. Your sister did that a lot. So you had to pay them a commission to do that. And I always used to remind everybody, you know, when we go on that tour, it's like, you know, I spent $3,200 for you to be here of the $8,000 you paid to be here, you know? And it was like, everybody was like, so let's make it worthwhile for both of us, you know, because we're obviously not making any money. I was only getting $500, so I was losing for every butt that was in a seat. I was losing like $3,000 or $2,500, but because the business model was so good, they paid off big time. Now, after we did that for probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and then starting to listen to the clients again, and everybody goes, you know what, Mike, I really like this market you've introduced us to. I really like this deal, but God, I don't even want to manage the manager. How about I just give you $100,000 or $200,000? You invest it for me, you know, and you take care of it, and I'll pay you to do it. And it's like, well, I'm not going to manage, you know, 10 units or something like that for you, but because there's, you know, you hire a local management, they don't want to do that. So it's like, well, I've done it before. Let's do it again. Let's syndicate. And then that's when we brought Ken in, and then we were buying probably, I would say on average about $40 million of the real estate in the syndication every month, or every other month. So, but the amount of cash that it took up front to develop that client list was just mind-bendingly ugly. It just seemed like all I was ever doing was just writing checks. But the cash flow was fabulous, and we grew exponentially. You know, now I'm still, it's like, too bad you guys weren't around back then. I would have been twice as successful. Not that I wanted to be, but nowadays it's, you guys are generating leads at $150 accredited investor, maybe another $100 to develop a relationship, 150, $200, $300 to get to one of these guys. You got to keep in mind that we grew, RealSource was pretty consistently $1 billion of assets under management almost within a few years, a couple, 3 years. And we could have grown up much faster, especially today because you can scale so much easier. Back then it was really hard to scale.